Benedicite Dominus, and welcome to question 135 of the Secundae. The topic for this lecture is meanness, and I am Dr. Thibault. If anybody randomly clicked on this video, just depending on seeing meanness, you might be thinking mean girls. This is a different type of meanness. This is we're dealing with the cardinal virtue of fortitude, and the parts of fortitude. Fortitude is strength, the ability to endure to the end, even in the risk of death, even to the point of martyrdom. That inner movement of the will to the end, the ability to fight those irascible appetites which might get in the way of us fulfilling our ultimate goal. We've been looking at the parts, which were magnanimity and then magnificence. And we are now looking at the vice associated with magnificence, which is meanness. So we're not talking about being mean to one another. Meanness, in this sense, is this parvitas, this deficiency, a smallness in some way. So the golden mean, the proper balance of how to live, is magnificence in this regards. That's the proper balance, that middle ground is magnificence. Spending, giving your money, your effort into that which you are capable of giving to the greatest degree, the most giving you can be, is magnificence. So meanness is too little. In some ways, when we consider magnanimity, that efficiency, that smallness, was pusillanimity. This is the equivalent for magnificence. Deficiency is meanness. I'd much rather say meanness than pusillanimity, which is a bit of a tongue twister. St. Thomas, when he talks about meanness, he looks at it in two ways. One is too little. One has attempted too little. So that's that inner desire. If you look back to the section on magnificence in the last question, there was the inner sense, and then there was the outer production. There was a distinction between the two. So in terms of inner disposition, your inner attempts, your attempt was too little. You didn't even try. You had more than you were willing to part with. Then the second is too cheap to achieve its goal. So the second is that there's an actual amount of money which is needed. Like right now, we're trying to rebuild Notre Dame Cathedral in France. Well, there's an actual price tag for what that will be. Probably in the billions, right? Probably $1 billion, at least in the high hundreds of millions of dollars to do this. This is a big undertaking. It's going to take magnificence in order to redo Notre Dame's roof in Paris. If people say, well, I'll just give $5, I'll give $10, or a big charity, like, oh, I'll give $100. Too cheap to achieve the goal. It will never be built. You could say, well, it's all about the little things. Well, magnificence is a virtue of greatness, and to achieve the greatness of it, it's going to take a lot, right? Even with some of the COVID things that we've been dealing with lately, somebody, oh, I'll give $1 million for COVID relief. Well, the price tag is in the $1 billion mark. So $1 million is lovely, but it's rust on the scale. It doesn't really do anything. There would be no noticeable difference with $1 million compared to 600 or $6 billion, something like that. So too cheap to achieve the goal. The other extreme, and this is Article 2, I put it on the same slide because it's just really the two sides of golden mean. is wastefulness, which St. Thomas goes into some depth with Greek and about what that about what it means. Wastefulness is often depicted as a fire or a furnace, um, and it just eats up everything. Right? It just burns it up, and there's nothing left to show for it. That's the imagery St. Thomas is using. I kept it in the Latin, so consumption. Oh, it changed it. Spell check changed it. Consumptio is the word. Consumption in English. Right? Consumptio. Eat it all up. Right. So a wasteful person when it comes to giving money for a great thing, if they're too wasteful, you just it eats up all of your resources. So that's the other side. You can sometimes see with big charities, they have the ability to do that because they don't really value the money they have, right? So especially big international charities often um, throwing money into a fire. Right? It's like have all this spending and nothing gets done. I think the Red Cross in rebuilding Haiti, for example, collected hundreds of millions of dollars after the earthquake in Haiti, and then after the end of 5, 10 years, it was 12 houses got built. After millions of dollars was given to help rebuild Haiti, that would be consumptio. That would be wastefulness. Um, a wasteful man spends more than the work deserves. Right? This is the wastefulness. That's why sometimes it's better sometimes to give the money to Catholic organizations when it comes to charity because there's a diocese in nearly every part of the world. If you were to send that to a local uh, diocese, it would more likely get into the hands of the local parishes and the local activities where the local community could use that money in a big way. $100 goes a long way in a lot of little parishes around the world. Um, Big multinational organizations sometimes don't value uh, the resources the way that small people who live there do. So, uh, again, the ultimate goal of this is magnificence, that proper spending of the right amount, which is aimed at it for bigness, right? It's big. It's a big amount. It's not just liberality, as we talked about in question 134. Liberality is just using money the most useful way. This is more than just the most useful way. This is to do a major undertaking, right? A big and noble undertaking. So, in conclusion, I'm not in conclusion. So meanness advice. A man fails this is the responses to the objections. Mean fails to observe the proportion that reason demands for the expenditure at work. I think that was an important point within the objection one, which was this is still all about reason, right? This is what is reasonable. So magnificence is what one should reasonably spend to undertake and to achieve this great work. Um, right? So it's not asking somebody to be unreasonable. It's just asking somebody to be reasonable. So it depends on the type of project, the impact of that project, and one's ability to respond to it. So it is dealing with reasonableness. Nobody's asking somebody to be unreasonable. But it does ask somebody to dream a little bit bigger, to move beyond their own comfort level. And St. Thomas points out that meanness is less sinful. It is less sinful than if one were to violate liberality, so illiberality. Liberality is dealing with just the right balance. It's an element of justice. So giving what is due. So a person can save money on their Starbucks coffee during Lent and help give it to the poor, or cut back on going out to eat once in a while to put a little bit money in the collection basket to help pay for the electric or gas bill for the church, or do very small things, a number of very small things in order to get the money where it would be put better to use. That this is dealing with liberality. That's not asking very much of people. So liberality isn't asking very much. Um, challenges you to not think of all of your money as yours, but as something that you are a steward of, which you can put to good use. Now, meanness is a deficiency like illiberality, but it's in terms of big projects. So if a person doesn't give $1 million, a person has $5 million, they don't give $1 million to do some project. It's less sinful than if they don't even avoid little things, right? If they don't pay for the heating bill of the church. Liberality deals with more just commonness, right? Because it's what's due, not even giving what's due. Meanness is in terms of big projects, so therefore, if one falls short a little bit on big things, it's more understandable, I guess. So, in conclusion, so meanness is a vice. It falls short. It's too small when one should do more, and it's the opposite of meanness is wastefulness. So both of them sit on either side of magnificence, which is the golden mean. Next, we move forward into the topic of patience.